Hello, this is Dr. Eric Bricker, and thank you for watching A Healthcare Z. Today's topic is pharma rebates to PBMs are no longer safe. What do I mean here? So, the Department of Health and Human Services removed the safe harbor from pharma rebate payments to PBMs as of November of 2020. Now, with all the craziness that's been going on, I don't think a lot of attention has been paid to this, but it has implications, huge implications for healthcare finance. So that's why we're going to talk about it for healthcare today. Now, you remember in a previous A Healthcare Z video, I explained to you that the Anti-Kickback statute was created back in the late 1970s as it related to government-sponsored program, federal government-sponsored program, in other words, Medicare and Medicaid, which essentially said that vendors could not provide a kickback to folks that billed Medicare and Medicaid in order to increase their sales and essentially increase cost of Medicare and Medicaid. They're like, look, you can't give kickbacks to people, right? And then they said, okay, well, wait, there was lobbying pressure, blah, blah, blah. And they said, okay, well, we'll create this safe harbor from the Anti-Kickback statute. In other words, the safe harbor means that you are allowed to pay a kickback or a commission, or essentially what a rebate is, right? A rebate is essentially a commission. Okay, so, and that's my point here for number 2, is that, healthcare is filled with euphemisms, and rebate is a euphemism. Basically, a rebate is a commission paid by the pharmaceutical company to the PBM to help encourage sales, or whether it's pay to play to get on the formulary. I mean, there's a gazillion ways to think about it, but it's not a rebate. It's a commission, okay? So, now, because of the removal of safe harbor, in other words, now the rebates are subject to the Anti-Kickback statute. And as a result of being subject to the Anti-Kickback statute, you cannot pay a kickback to the PBM anymore, and the money, whether you call it a rebate or a commission, has to now go to the seniors. Okay, and per the study that I will leave a link to in the show notes, they estimate that on an annual basis that a senior will see savings of about $381 to $1,522 per person per year. Now, if you're a senior on a fixed income getting Social Security, that's real money. And that's money that used to go to the PBM that is now going to be going to the senior. Now, of course, the PBM and the insurance carriers that own them are crying poor, and they're saying, well, we're just going to have to increase our premiums to make up for the decreased revenue. Now, look, in a competitive marketplace, they would have to compete with each other. Now, as long as they're not colluding, then they would still need to compete on price of their premiums. So it's not guaranteed that they have to, quote unquote, raise their premiums, right? So just because they lose their rebates, it's not required that they raise their premiums. So we'll see what happens. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. So, as I previously reported on A Healthcare Z, so Cigna obviously owns Express Scripts, and actually in the fall, late summer fall of 2020, then Cigna actually renamed the whole Express Scripts side of the business. They called it Evernorth. It's basically the Cigna version of Optum, right? Optum's got Optum RX. Evernorth has their clinical services, prior auth, called EverCore, and they also have Express Scripts in there, and they call it Evernorth now. Anyway, Evernorth has a subsidiary called Ascent Health Services. What in the world is Ascent Health Services? It is a group purchasing organization, a GPO, that's based in Switzerland. So why in the world would Express Scripts need to create a group purchasing organization? Aha, because group purchasing organizations still have safe harbor from the Anti-Kickback statute. So in other words, GPOs can still legally get commissions from government and charge government programs, even though they're getting commissions. So what they do is, and oh, by the way, CVS then over the summer did the same thing. They started a GPO called Zinc, probably, this is just my opinion, probably for the same reason. Now, they don't call it a rebate anymore. So now they go to the pharmaceutical company and they say, okay, we're going to charge you an administrative fee. Again, call it what you want. It is money being paid by the pharmaceutical company to the PBM. And it's an admin fee that's going to a GPO. Therefore, it falls under safe harbor from the Anti-Kickback statute, so the money from the government can keep flowing to Cigna Scripts and CVS Aetna. Okay, now, the safe harbor from the Anti-Kickback statute is only for government payers. This does not apply to employers. As an employer, you might want to do exactly what HHS is doing, right? HHS is a payer just like an employer is a payer, and obviously HHS can do what it wants, and you as an employer, you might want to do the same thing, but you can't because you're not the government. So just know that everything I'm talking about here it relates to federal government programs, not to employer-sponsored health plans. So if the PBMs are still paying rebate commission, or if the pharmaceutical companies are still paying rebate commissions to the PBMs, they can still do that for commercial plans. Okay, this is just for the government payers. And that's the point I wanted to make today. Thank you for watching A Healthcare Z.